talk about barbecue rubs. Now there's about 458,000 different rubs out there. So get a big bag of popcorn. This is gonna be a long video. No, I'm kidding, of course, but how do you decide what rubs you're gonna buy? Is it based off of a friend's recommendation, one you saw on the internet on YouTube maybe, or one you saw on TV, or maybe you get one as a gift like I did for my nephew Derek for Christmas. It's Brussels sprout infused chicken wing rub. Thanks, Derek. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go through the rubs I have in my pantry. I wanna show you the close-up of the bottle and the close-up of the actual rub itself. Tell you what the first ingredient is, and that's important because the first ingredient tells you whether it's a sweet rub or a savory rub. So if it's a sugar-based, it's gonna be a sweet rub. If it's salt-based, it's gonna be a savory rub, of course. I'll also give you a score of 1 to 10 for each rub, 1 being the least, 10 being the best. Now there's no 1s and there's no 10s, but there are some pretty high-scoring rubs, and some of my favorite ones are in here. Let's go ahead and get started. The first one we're gonna look at is probably the best one to start with because it's my favorite rub right now. That may change over time, of course, but it is the Gospel from Meat Church. It puts a fantastic Southwestern barbecue flavor on things, a really traditional, deep, rich barbecue flavor. Really loving that. Plus, puts a great color on your meat too, and as you guys know, our first bite comes with our eyes, right? So this stuff's very appealing, looks terrific, tastes terrific. Matter of fact, I was lucky enough to win a People's Choice Award with some pork belly burn-ins using this rub. Just, that's the kind of stuff it does. And with pork, it is so good, guys. You can also use it with chicken, of course, as well, but I really love this on pork. I think it does a great job there for any protein, really, but definitely pork is where I like it the best. The first ingredient in the Gospel is sugar, so it's more of a sweet-based rub, and I have it a grade of 9.5. I love this stuff. That's probably going to be the highest grade you see today, because this is the rub I'm liking the most right now, but there's some others I like a lot too, but this is probably the highest grade you'll see today. So now we'll look at some more Meat Church products. Alright guys, up next is a product from a company called SuckleBusters. The product's called Clucker Dust, and that's one of my favorite chicken rubs. It's perfect on wings or thighs. Love it with the Vortex on the Weber kettle. Get that high temperature on there. It does a great job. But of course you can use it with a pellet grill, with an offset smoker, any of the above. It does a great job. What makes it so good, guys, it's a well-balanced savory and sweet both. So the first ingredient is salt. Right behind that is some really good sugar, so the savory balance is just fantastic. Love this stuff. Now, it's got a slight kick to it, a little chipotle kick, but I promise you it's not so hot you can't stand it. I promise you it's not at all. It's very good, good flavorful rub. Now, it's named Clucker Dust for a reason. It is kind of dusty, so when you put it on, don't put your face right over top of your food you're putting it on, because it will get dust in your throat, make you cough a little bit, but it is a dust on purpose. So salt's the first ingredient, and I give this a score of 9.2 because I love this stuff. Now let's look at the rest of the SuckleBusters products that I have. Alright guys, next up is two products from Blues Hog. The first is called Bold and Beefy. Now Bold and Beefy is a top-notch rub designed for beef, but you can use it on anything. The steak competitors, guys, those guys love this stuff. It's got a really good oniony and garlic flavor that it adds. It's got a coarseness to it, so you get a good crust or a good bark on your steak. It's a salt-based, of course, and I give it a grade of 8. I love the stuff. The second is called All In, and All In is more or less their SPG, their base layer that they have that's really good as well. It's kind of coarse, got a good coarseness to it, so again, you get a good good bark or good crust out of it. I give it a score of 7.8. All right, guys, up next is a couple rubs by Harry Sue. Now, if you're not familiar with Harry Sue is a very well-known competitor in the barbecue arena. He has a really complex rubs here, and he's got some ingredients I've never heard of. I'll try to pronounce them here for you. Not sure I can do that justice, but I'll try. So this first one is called Jailbird Chicken. It's a very mellow, but very flavorful. When I say mellow, I don't mean it's just plain and boring. Not at all. It's just very smooth. It's not overly powerful at all. It's great on chicken, of course. It's Jailbird Chicken's the name of it. And then again, the ingredients, one of them is kombu extract. There's shiitake extract, which I don't know if I've heard of shiitake mushrooms. I guess that's an extract from the mushrooms. And then also in this rub is some orange juice concentrate, believe it or not. Again, I never heard of using that in a rub. But his first ingredient is sugar, and I give it a score of 8.0. It's a fantastic rub, guys. I think you'd really like it. Our next rub from Harry is actually a little more complex even than the Jailbird Chicken. This one's called Flavor Bomb. Now this is a very flavorful, very incredible flavors I'm not familiar with actually. It's the umami profile, of course, but the ingredients I definitely am going to butcher these. First one's bonita tuna, I can say that. But then shiokoji, S-H-I-O-K-O-J-I. I'll put the word on the screen, of course. Shiokoji, and then kombu kelp powder. So I've never heard of those kind of products. I mean, they obviously make a great rub. This stuff is really, really good. The first ingredient is sea salt, and I give it a score of 8.5 because the flavors are just fantastic with this thing. I love this stuff. All right, guys, up next are two rubs from Plowboys. I don't know how familiar you are with Plowboys, but they've been around for a long time and they make some really, really good rubs. Now, this first one's called Yardbird Rub, and Yardbird Rub was my favorite rub until I found Clucker Dust from SuckleBusters. I love both of these. It's a fantastic rub. Matter of fact, I did a video using Yardbird Rub, guaranteeing some crispy chicken. I'll show that video to you in the upper corner of your screen. If you guys watch it on TV, I'll put a link to it in the description down below. The first ingredient is salt, which is different from most chicken rubs. They're usually sugar-based. So it's great on pork too. Matter of fact, the bottle even says created for chicken, but made for pork. So you can use it for both. And my score for this is 8.9. Guys, that's really close to SuckleBusters. I love the stuff. Does a really good job. All right, guys, the next one from Plowboys is called Bovine Bold. Now, Bovine Bold is a very savory rub that's made for beef. Actually, it's a very award-winning rub from back in the early 2000s. These guys were around for a while, like I said. So from early 2000s, they were winning awards with this, especially for brisket. But it's good on any beef at all, any good beef product, but it's definitely made for brisket. It's got a good coarseness for some good bark development. It's an old favorite of most people, and its first ingredient is salt, of course. It's a savory rub, and I give it a score of 8.2. It's a very good rub on brisket, anything beef pretty much. All right, guys, up next is a rub that's kind of newer to the market. It's from a company called Gulf Coast Smoke. This is a product called That Base. Now, That Base is a really good base layer. It's got a good coarseness to it. You can smell the onion and the garlic in there. It's kind of like a salt, pepper, garlic, SPG type rub, their version of it. But guys, it does a great job as a base layer. I love this stuff. It's super, super flavorful. The coarseness gives you a good bark addition to helping your bark form on whether it's brisket or whatever it may be. Does a great job. Love the stuff. It's a salt-based product, obviously, and I give it a score of 8.5. All right, guys, the last one in my pantry is from a restaurant called Goldies. It's Goldies Brisket Rub. Now, they won Texas Monthly's #1 brisket rub in that publication a few years back, and it's a fantastic rub, guys. It's definitely a pepper. It's a Texas-style rub. I think the salt in it may be like a seasoned salt. I don't know. You see the color of it there. It's kind of a yellowish color, maybe more of a seasoned salt, but the color it puts on a brisket is top-notch, guys. I love this stuff. You got to be careful, though. It's pretty strong. If you put too much on there, which I've done before, it can be a little overpowering. But you can smell the pepper in it. You can smell the garlic and onion and you can smell all sorts of great flavors in there from a Texas-style brisket point. But just be careful put maybe 1 or 2 quick passes of it on there, and that'll be plenty. I promise you, it'll be plenty. So All right, guys, there's our video on rubs. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you got some value out of it today. I hope you found something you may want to try. We hope you liked the video. Hope you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, guys, I'll meet you at the smoker.